Hi friends, we're in the Unit 2, Day 5. This video is going to go into Example 2. We're going to be graphing these functions using the parent functions and then the indicated transformations. So here's having a really good concept of what's happening from the transformations of the parent functions and knowing which values a, b, x, and k. Excuse me, a, b, h, and k. So if I think about what's happening here, this plus 2 value is coordinating with this h. So because it's a plus 2, that tells me it's going to be a shift left h units. So this is going to be a shift left 2. And then here we have this negative sign. The negative sign is sitting outside of the x minus h area. Again, going back to this example here. So this is that b value. That b value is applying it to whatever's in parentheses here. So this is going to be a reflection across the y-axis. And then this minus 1 here tells me that, again, that's going to be your k. That's your k value. And so that's going to be a shift down. And shift down 1. All right, so then seeing what type of parent function this is a quadratic. So because it's a quadratic, that tells me a few things about its shape. I know that it's going to be a normal kind of U shape here, but it's applying these transformations. So I have to think about what's happening with each of these values or points. So notice that I did the red in this new color. I'm doing my original kind of in a green. I'm going to erase this. So if I think about my quadratic, I usually have maybe like a 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's see what happens to this point when I apply these transformations. First, I'm going to shift left 2. Reflect across the y-axis doesn't take this anywhere because it's already on the y-axis. And then that shift down 1, so that's going to take that here. So I'm going to use my new value in red. The next value that I remember having is 1, 1. That's here. So shift left 2, 1, 2. Reflect across the y-axis is that take it back to where it was originally, and then shifting down 1 takes it down here. That takes that there. The next value that I have is 0, 0. So 0, 0, shift left 2, 1, 2. Reflect across the y-axis takes it over here, and then shift down 1 takes it here. All right. And then now negative 1, 1 is here. Shift left 2, 1, 2. Reflect across the y-axis is going to take it 1, 2, 3 spaces over here, and then shift down 1 takes that here. So this is my final value. And then negative 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 is here. Shift left 2, use my red pen. So 1, 2. Reflect across the y-axis is going to take me over here, and then shift down 1. You can kind of see kind of what happened to it. The reflection across the y-axis didn't really affect it much. And if you think about for quadratics, reflecting across the y-axis doesn't really change much about the quadratic. It's more so if it has a reflection across the x-axis that puts it kind of a U-shape opening downward. Notice I just connected my red. I didn't connect my green. My green is my original. I'm using that just as a basis. It doesn't help me get the final transformation. This one here is also a quadratic. This one is going to have a shift. Minus 1 tells me it's going to shift to the right 1. All right, this one's outside. Notice the set of parentheses. This one's outside here, and then there's not another set of parentheses. This one is now going to be a reflection across the x-axis. Reflect across the x-axis. And then plus 3 is going to be a shift up 3. All right, so again, starting with those same points. So 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4, 4, and then these are there. All right, starting with 2, 4, shift right 1, reflect across the x-axis. That's going to take me down 1, 2, 3, 4 down here, and then shift up 3, 1, 2, 3. That takes me here. This one 1, 1, shift right 1, reflect across the x-axis is here, and then shift up 3. 1, 2, 3. Takes me here. At the origin, shift right 1, reflect across the x-axis, doesn't move, then shift up 3. 1, 2, 3. A lot of students, after you see kind of this shape, you know that it's going to reflect across this part right here, so you can finish out by making the other side. There we go. And there we go. For g of x, this one here, g of x equals opposite of the absolute value of x plus 4. So, again, so there's no shift left or right inside the absolute value part, so that tells me that. This negative sign is outside. This is going to be a reflect across the x-axis, and then shift up 4. So again, if I think about my values, they're going to be normally like this, reflecting across the x-axis. So that's going to flip the entire graph so it's down here, and then shifting up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you do these, you'll be able to go through and process it like this. If you don't, again, go through each of the points like I did with the first few examples, until you get the hang of going through and applying the different transformations for the toolboxes. You can also verify that these are correct by graphing them in your graphing calculator. A good way to check to make sure that you got it correct. Notice that I'm not using my graphing calculator to help guide me. I'm using my knowledge of this, and then I would be checking with my graphing calculator. There's an important distinction between those two. Using the graphing calculator as a tool to check your work is good, as opposed to relying on it for your work. H of x, we finally get a value of a. It's exciting. So here, inside, we shift plus 1, we shift left 1. And then we have a vertical stretch by, so this is going to be a factor of 3, or by 3, since we were multiplying the value by 3. And then we subtract 2, so that's going to be a vertical shift. You don't really need the vertical part. You're shifting down. Shift down 2. All right. So that, again, my absolute values normally look like this. If I shift left 1, and then vertical stretch by 3 means I'm going to multiply that value by 3. So this, instead of it being more of like a V shape, it's going to be like a really tight V. It's going to be, remember, it's going to be vertical stretch is the same as a horizontal compression. I'm going to actually pick a few values to use for this to show. So I'm going to do these here. So just these 5. So negative 2, or sorry, 2, 2, shift left 1. Vertical stretch by 3 means that it's already 2 units up, so if I multiply 2 by 3, I get 6. So then that's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, and then shift down 2 puts me down here. Then this one, shift left 1, vertical stretch by 3, so then that would be 1 times 3, so that's 3, 1, 2, 3, and then shift down 2, 1, 2. The origin, shift left 1, vertical stretch by 3, well, it's at 0, so it's actually going to shift any value, and then 1, 2, shift down 2. Something doesn't look right. We might investigate here shortly. Shift left 1, vertical stretch by 3, 1 times 3 is 3, and then shift down 2, 1, 2. So that kind of corresponds with this one that's already green. And then this one, shift left 1, vertical stretch by 3, that's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, and then 1, 2. There we go. This is what happened. I did not, so I have to actually go up that value. I shortchanged myself and just went to that point. So there we go. So be careful with that. I did it. So that value tells me how much I increase by, not the destination. So I'm going to increase by that amount. The reason I was confused is because the ending position happened to also correlate with the amount that I was increasing by. This coordinate 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's what was messing me up in my head. So be careful. And then red's the new. I'm going to stop the video and then do these last 4 in the next one. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.